Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tesla.com here. Now at Comic-Con, one of the reasons to go to conventions like this is to see amazing props and collectibles in person. Now James and Wright, you run Prop Shop, and we saw your Kylo Ren helmet in Adam Savage's shop.
Yeah.
Amazing. We hadn't seen this though. This is incredible.
Yeah, thank you. This is really a unique piece in the simple fact that this is created by using the same 3D data that was used to 3D print the original on screen. Although the other pieces are 3D printed, but this is using the data, the same file, and we're just running this, limited edition, 500 units. And it's a beautiful piece, my favorite piece as well. Yeah.
And you guys have a lot of replicas that are the process of getting the data and also manufacturing, they're almost different for every piece. Some that you actually worked on for the film.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you actually got the actual, the data, it came to you the way they printed it, and you're using the same printing process?
Same printing process, same printer, same material. The only way we could achieve this, with the undercuts and, is the 3D printer. You couldn't tool this, and it was sculpted on the movie, it was scanned, it was printed, then it was re-sculpted, and a very clever, talented sculptor, Luke Fisher, sculpted the original with Neil Scanlon, and we took the data, worked with the data, and 3D printed it. And it was a that process. It was a physical digital back into physical again process, and this is what it is. This is the true original file, and this is. It's an excellent piece. Fantastic.
And that's something that really couldn't have been done several years ago. I mean, a lot of the replication process for collectibles in the past has been traditional mold and cast. And you can get a lot of detail with molds, but something like this, you couldn't really get inside.
Right. I mean, if you can go close on it, some of the detail, certainly inside here, and like I say, the undercuts, what we call an undercut in the business, you couldn't mold this, you couldn't tool it, traditionally, using injection molding processes, and there's some real fine detail in there, and some of the edges are, they're just really flaky basically, but it's a delicate piece, and it's if I can just pick it up, it's light as well, because it's actor friendly, right? It's a great thing. Yeah.
In the design process, the product development process, do you run through tests on the cleanup and finishing of when it comes out of the printer?
Yeah.
Maybe to make it more durable, or what is that development like?
The process is that these pieces are printed, and they're also they're infiltrated with epoxy resin, so they very, very durable pieces. But this is, at the end of the day, this is very fine. So it's you've got to be careful with this piece. It's not, if you dropped it on the floor, it's not going to be, maybe something will come off.
Treat it like you would a prop from the film.
Treat it like you treat a prop for the film, and that's how most of these pieces you treat them. They are props at the end of the day, so we treat them. They should be treated that way. So, but it's a PMMA, which is an acrylic resin or powder, and it's infiltrated with a resin that then gives you the sort of structure and the endurance it needs as a 3D object. Then it's finished, meaning that then it's sanded, and it's then primed, and then it's painted by the actual painters who painted it. Yeah.
And then there's reference work for the finishing, for the painting. Is it photos, or what is the reference work that the artists are using?
One of our jobs on these movies is that we scan everything. We scan every prop, and and every actor and every set. So we've got lots of data on this, lots of texture photography on this. So we can take texture maps and we can, lay them on the actual 3D file, so we know particularly where certain marks are and certain textures are, and that helps our painters then to replicate that. So, there's literally a flat image with grids on it that we adhere to make sure that the markings and those marks are all the same. So,
wow, that's a lot of thought process. When something that might have just been a flick of a piece of paint, you actually want to reproduce that exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in addition to Vader's helmet, of course, you guys do a bunch of other props, other helmets. What's the process like for Finn's helmet?
Yeah, Finn's helmet's the same thing. We've got a texture map of that, which we overlay over the actual helmet. So therefore, we can recreate the blood marks and the markings. We're pretty forensic about this.
Yeah.
We're pretty forensic to make sure it's right. Yeah.
And the interiors were as they were, because I know the Kylo one is wearable.
The interiors aren't as they were, only because there's certain things that we had to do when you're shooting, stunt versions and
right. There's lots of different elements.
So you do have to have a balance. There's a balance between this becoming a consumer product at the end of the day against what a prop is. So there's a little bit of trade-off
On the, you guys are obviously on the high-end collectible side. You guys do sabers. What are the things that you want to put in the products to make it really feel like it is that high-end collectible?
It's detail. It's attention to detail. It's making sure, it's making sure it's being faithful to what the prop is. It's being faithful to the material, which is used. And every step of the way, we're careful, and we've got to do it justice. And it comes with responsibility. This job for us, we're interested in creating something that is as near to as physically possible to the original, and we're achieving that. We're achieving that. But like I say, there is a balance. There is a balance to a prop, and there's many versions of a prop as well. You've got hero ones, stunt versions and breakaway versions, all those things that you do on a film. But
30 years ago, when you talk about a hero prop and derivatives, you think of the mold, right? How many castings have gone through? Now it's the file. It's like there's only very select people have that file, can process it, and has access to the printer that can.
We're prop shop. We're in a very privileged position. We're in Pioneer Studios, and Lucasfilm entrusts us with this data, and it's original. It's original data. So, it's from the original pieces themselves. Not only that, this is a 3D model. So this isn't a scan. This is a 3D model that we use to actually produce the actual item itself. So
no data is lost.
No data is lost.
Yeah, you're not going through that process. Now, another reason to go to Comic-Con is to see some exclusive you guys are announcing here, and you have a new piece that you guys are showing off.
We have a special. Yeah, should we
let's go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, James. So what is this piece here?
This piece is an exclusive and launched at Comic-Con today. This is the Millennium Falcon panel. And this panel is called MP4. It was called MP4 because that's really what we called it when we built the cockpit for the movie. These line weights are and the balance of these components are as accurate as it can be. Again, similar to the Vader mask. This is the same data that's used for the cockpit. So, it's the same material, the line weights, it's from the same file. So again, we're entrusted with the original file, original data. It's been translated in this, and it's a collectible. It's a beautiful piece, and it's never been done before. I mean,
it's a piece of the set.
It's a piece of art, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And
it's tactile.
It's tactile. Yeah.
When you designed the actors sitting in the Falcon, you wanted them to be able to flip switches as they get into character, and so it needs to be sturdy enough to have all that. And so, are these all standard switches, custom? How much of it is fabricated?
All fabricated.
All fabricated.
All fabricated. This is fabricated. These lights, knobs, switches, all custom. So everything has to be developed and reproduced as per the original.
Wow. Why the selection of this panel specifically?
I think this panel's got some action on it as well. It's got but also it's well balanced. This panel. There's something about this panel that works on a wall on its own.
Right.
And it hasn't got any relief. There's some other panels in there that we'd like to do, but I think this one is it's got an abstractness to it, and it works as a piece of art for me. That's how it works.
And again, it has that direct tie to the film, and all the same people who made it for the film have made it for the collectors.
It's designed, as I say, Mark Harris and Natasha Jones, the graphic designer, the people who created it. This is their work, and again, it's got a slight age to it. It's a slight age down that was on the actual set itself. So we put that in there, but it's a great piece.
James, thank you so much for sharing with us the process.
Thank you very much.
Great to meet you.
Thank you. All the best.